Hi, I'm Kev from Tabletop Upgrades. I make board game accessories and upgrades for tabletop miniatures games. And 1 year ago, almost to the day, I embraced the 2-second lean principle, and I've come so far. I've made hundreds of improvements over the last year. But there's been a discussion in the LeanPlay app about 3D printers, so I thought I'd just share the kind of 3D printer that I've got, the software that I use, and some of the upgrades and improvements I've made resulting from that 3D printer. So let's take a look. So before I start, just want to show you this picture. This is 12 months ago. This is how I was making my products. Literally started from my kitchen table like many people, and I'm still a really small business, but now I'm in this workshop, and in the past year since doing 2-second lean, I've grown the business in terms of turnover 60%, and there's been so much of my time and effort gone into making this new beautiful workshop, so I'm really excited for the next 12 months. But the 3D printer has been a really useful addition to making improvements bespoke to myself. So this is the one that I've got. This is a Teartime Up Mini 2. It's not the best or the biggest 3D printer, but it's certainly right for me. It's very small. The build plate is all of about 150mm square, but you do need to think about what kind of size build plate you really need. Something that's much bigger will result, in my experience, with more problems with lifting. You have to spend more time getting the thing dialed in. But this works great for me. I never ever have failed prints. It's got a heated bed, and this little chamber keeps the smell down, and there's some safety concerns about microparticulates, which, to be honest, whether that's a thing or not, I don't know, but I don't worry about it. It's got a HEPA filter in there. It takes care of that. It's got the filament spool in a little caddy there, so it keeps it dry, because that can lead to problems, particularly on Ender 3s and things like that if you're using them very rarely. So that's the printer that I've got, and it's quite cheap and it works really well. It connects over Wi-Fi as well, so no worrying about cables. Onto some of the 3D printed items. And it's not just in the workshop either. I remember when I first started Lean, people say it'll take over your life. I didn't believe them. But here we are. I've made 3D printed little brackets for all the pan lids, and also shadow boards, all the things in the back of the cupboard, so no more struggle there. My wife thought I was mental first time I did this, but now she loves it. There we go. So I produced most of my products through laser cutting. This is my laser station, which is a huge upgrade from a year ago. But in terms of 3D printed upgrades, just simple things really. I use these ear defenders on occasion. They never have a place to go, but now they do. They've got a little 3D printed hook there. At the back, I've 3D printed little brackets for all my power supply bricks, so they're not hanging down, there's no strain on the cables. Keeps it out of the way, and because it's 3D printing, they're sized exactly for the kind of thing that I want. And to give you an idea, both of these, well, that took maybe 10 minutes to print. This is about an hour and a half, and it's the enclosure makes it quite quiet. Over here I have a little area to plug my cables in. Occasionally I will take this laptop out. Normally it drives the laser cutter, but occasionally I'll take it out to do some design work. I found that I didn't do that because it was so tricky to get the cables to drop down the back, so now I just unplug the cables and I put them in the holes, and I can go about pulling the laptop out with no struggle. So that's really easy. So that's a good little improvement. I have a 3D printed hook, so that's, I can't open the laser cutter there without putting the mask on. I found myself having the bad habit of using the laser cutter without the mask. So now this is so awkward to open the laser cutter, I have to put my mask on. So that's a good little hook there. Inside I have these datum corners. So these are little magnetic corners. They allow me to space off work and also set datums very easily. And normally when I have my magnetic bedding, they just clip to there. So that's at the back there, strong magnets. I'll have to pick that up later. Inside I have these little wheels, so secure front panel with these wheels in transit, and they were originally upgrade to make taking this this cover off, but Phil from ATS suggested that I just put it on magnets, so that's much better. So magnets and 3D printing are something that gets lots of use in my workshop. So over to my little station here. I've got pen holder, and also I have another little rack there for holding my scraper when I use it. And then the glue press, which gets lots and lots of use here. I've got these little magnetic corners. I use different jigs at different times, so I can reconfigure those jigs whenever I need to. And then I found myself, when I first started, running out of glue all the time, which is ridiculous now when I think back. But I've got a little squeezy glue bottle labelled up. That's convenient to use. And then I've got my refills here at the back, refill 1, refill 2. So I've got like a 2-bin system there. And then at the bottom of that, I've got my QR code, which allows me just to order whenever I run out. And I missed one just down the side here. I've got various 3D printed things for holding my squeegee at the back there, but this is a nice one. This is a little hook for this sticker roll, and it got magnets inset. So top tip is if you 3D print holes a little bit smaller than the magnet, and then you place the magnet on top, heat it with a soldering iron, push it down, it heat sets the magnets into place. So that just lives in the right place, and it was forever falling off before, so it's always in the right shot. So that's a little overview of the 3D printing process. We'll now have a look at some of the software options if you're just starting and you want a way to be able to make little lean improvements. So here's several options for your 3D modelling, starting from easiest and cheapest, going to more complex and more expensive. So if you've got no 3D modelling experience, Tinkercad is amazing. You can teach yourself in 15 minutes, perfect for little lean brackets and things like that. It works even in a web browser, so you can do it on a really cheap computer, and you can output the STL file, the stereolithography file that you need with a 3D printer. Children, primary school age, learn to use this, and it's perfectly fine. It's actually an Autodesk product, so it's pretty good. Good starting point. A step up from that, the same kind of intuitive user interface is Shaper 3D. Works on an iPad, works in Windows and Mac as well. You get 2 or 3 designs free. Other than that, I think it's a couple of £100 a year. Well, the free version allows you to have 2 designs or 3 designs, and you can output low-res STLs, which are perfectly fine for brackets. It's only when you need complex surfaces you need the higher res STL. So that's a good option if you've kind of a more creative type. If you've got an engineering background, then FreeCAD might be more appropriate for you. This is fully featured, extremely capable software, but it's got a very steep learning curve and it's free. It's open source. It is buggy, so it may crash. You might want to try it out and see if it's any good for your particular situation. Next, we've got Fusion 360, an Autodesk product. I was a beta tester for that, went out to Portland. It's a fantastic piece of software. They've recently changed it so you can only have, I think, 3 designs. But it's unbelievable. It's really, really powerful. 3 designs for free, so as long as you're happy to save it out as an STL, that's yours to keep forever. Failing that, it's £510 a year. They've always got deals on, so you'll probably get it cheaper. And then top of the pile, in my opinion, people would argue with me on this, is Dassault Systems SolidWorks. I'm a SolidWorks professional in my previous job, so this is kind of my fluent software, so I really like SolidWorks. It's very, very expensive, very capable, but they do have a Maker program, which is just $10 a month, aimed at people using 3D printers, as you can see in the image. And I would argue that making a bracket for your tape holder isn't for commercial gain. It's not a saleable product, so you're not breaching the license by using it for lean purposes. $10 a month instead of the, I think, $5,000 a year. So massive utility from that software. Just before I end this video, I'll just show you these. This is a different kind of 3D printing technology. This is resin printing. The other one's known as FDM, which is basically melting plastic, building it up. This is using liquid resin and setting the resin layer by layer by using a UV light. Now, people say you can't use 3D printing for production, but I've recently watched Michael of Yellow Tools using resin printing for production on a massive scale. So I've got lots of products that's suitable for this, so I'm going to give it a go. It's a lot more involved, it's a lot more noxious, so it requires more thought. I haven't actually fired these up yet because I want to build some enclosures and things for it. But that's another option if you need really, really high detailed stuff. So thanks for watching. Hope that was useful to you in showing you how 3D printing and software can be used for lean improvements. I'm still an absolute novice at this, been doing it about a year, but come so far and I'm really excited to carry on for the next year. So thanks for watching, and if you like this, then I also put these videos up every week on my YouTube channel. Just search for Tabletop Upgrades Lean Journey. There we go. Thank you.